The infamous GOAT debate. Is it Ronaldo, Messi, Pele, or Maradona? There's multiple reasons why each of these greats deserve and have a say in who gets to claim GOAT status, but that's not what I care about in this video. I want to give reasons and opinions backed up by actual stats to debate why these players are not the GOATs. In other words, I want to expose every football GOAT. Cristiano Ronaldo, luck and stat padding. What if I told you Cristiano Ronaldo is lucky? Sounds crazy, right? Well, let me just elaborate on that. CR7 goes by many names: El Bicho, and more commonly Mr. Champions League, because of course he's the Champions League all-time top scorer and assister, as well as having the most UCL goals in a single season, being 17 goals, and of course winning the whole competition an unprecedented 5 times with 2 different clubs. But what if I told you that was a product of mere luck? Let's get into it. That's just only 1 out of 5 UCL trophies that Ronaldo's won. Surely doesn't mean anything, right? No, because he went on to win 4 more Champions League with Real Madrid, the single club notoriously known for winning the Champions League. Real Madrid already had 9 UCLs before Ronaldo joined them in 2009, won 4 more during his tenure at the club, and after he left them in 2018 to go join Juventus, they went on to win another 2 more Champions League titles, almost like as if they would have won the Champions League without him regardless. Compare this to his rival Messi, who, upon reaching the Barca senior team, Barcelona only had won the Champions League title twice, where in the 2005-2006 season, Messi was listed as a UCL winner, although he had very minimal contribution, and then went on to win 3 titles with them. And ever since he left Barcelona, they have never been able to win the Champions League again. But hey, that's just at club level, right? I mean, he managed to win Portugal their very first and only trophies, being the 2 Nation League titles and the Euros back in 2016. Well, this is another example of luck being on Ronaldo's side. UEFA made the Nations League to replace friendlies, and even if he won 2 of them, they're widely viewed as sort of like Mickey Mouse trophies. Even Kevin De Bruyne described the whole competition as quote-unquote unimportant and a practice campaign. And as for the Euro that he won, it was won in a watered-down competition. All Euros from 1996 to 2012 had a grand total of 16 teams, and the top 2 teams in each group advancing to the quarterfinals. Simple. But for the 2016 Euros, there was a change in format, bumping up the teams in the competition from 16 to 24 teams, and that built up a need for a round of 16. So now the top 2 teams in each group qualify for the round of 16, as well as the best 4 out of 6 third-place teams in each group. This created a watered-down competition that made it much easier for Portugal to win the tournament. And Portugal were one of those third-place teams that qualified for the knockout rounds, and due to it being so watered down, they played Poland in the quarterfinals and Wales in the semis. Their only difficult matchups were Croatia in the round of 16 and France in the literal final. And then there's the second reason why Cristiano Ronaldo cannot be the GOAT: his infamous habit of stat padding, specifically against small European nations. Cristiano Ronaldo has a record for the most international goals scored by a single player, but if you to see who he scored against, it's just not that impressive, being 5 out of 8 of these nations are significantly weak opponents. What's really the point of scoring all these goals, yet you can't score where it matters the most? A very, very famous example of this is the fact that Cristiano Ronaldo has a shocking 0 goals and 0 assists in the World Cup knockout rounds, despite scoring in 5 different World Cup group stage tournaments. That's 1 more than Messi, who only has 4 yet has 5 goals and 2 assists in just 1 World Cup back in 2021. But no, the stat padding doesn't just end there. Think of all the countless times he's been annoyed that his own teammates scored instead of him. Like that one time the ball was passed and either Ronaldo or Alvaro Arbeloa had a chance on goal and Alvaro scored it instead of him, leaving CR7 visibly irritated. Or what about that one time he missed a penalty in the Nations League quarterfinal against Denmark and started crying, only to later reveal that he wasn't crying because it would have lost his country Portugal to be eliminated, but instead he cried because it broke his 27-long game streak of converted penalties. That's extremely crazy. So because of luck and stat padding, Cristiano Ronaldo cannot be the GOAT. Lionel Messi, system player and corruption. A lot of people love to say that Messi is the GOAT because of his World Cup and 8 Ballon d'Ors, and that he would start in any team regardless of who's there. But what if I were to tell you that Messi is one of the most overrated football players of all time? And that's because he is a system player who stayed in his comfort zone, being Barcelona, for a huge chunk of his club career, surrounded by players like Xavi, Iniesta, and Busquets. And the whole Barca team during Messi's time at the club was built around Messi for over 16 seasons. During this time, he might have won trophies with Barca, but he infamously couldn't replicate that type of success with his national team being Barcelona, because there was no Xavi or Iniesta to bail him out. It wasn't until the 2021 year that he won his first trophy with Argentina, being the Copa America. He also couldn't win the Champions League outside Barcelona, seeing as how he was forced out of the club back in 2021 and joined PSG, who brought him specifically to win the Champions League, not the Ligue 1, not the Trophée des Champions, the prestigious UEFA Champions League. And in 2 whole seasons at PSG, despite being surrounded by players like Verratti, Sergio Ramos, Kylian Mbappe, and Neymar, he got knocked out of the Champions League in the round of 16 twice in a row, and only managed to score, get this, 6 goals in the league in his very first season outside his comfort zone at Barcelona. All of this came as a result of Messi playing in a team where, for the first time in his career, the system was built around not him, but somebody else, that person being Kylian Mbappe. Compare this to his rival CR7, who won the Champions League with 2 different clubs and managed to conquer 3 different leagues and won 3 international trophies with Portugal, who never won anything prior to his arrival at the senior team and proceeded to give them their only 3 titles in their history. CR7, by comparison, never needed a system to dominate. He was the system. Even Sir Alex Ferguson had this to say about Messi.
You know, the people say, right, who is the best player in the world? And plenty of people quite rightly say Messi. You can't dispute that opinion. But you know about Ronaldo? Ronaldo could play for Millwall, Queen's Park Rangers, anyone, Doncaster Rovers, and score a hat-trick in a game. I'm not sure Messi could do it, because Ronaldo's got 2 feet, quick, great in the air, brave. Messi's brave, of course. I think Messi's a Barcelona player. You know what I mean?
Yeah, suits the style.
Yeah.
And getting onto my second reason as to why I think Messi is not the GOAT is corruption. Let's be honest with ourselves. I don't know if it's favoritism or maybe just a huge coincidence, but Messi has been a beneficiary of corruption throughout his whole career. I think about that time he won his first Champions League title back in 2009. Well, that would have never happened if it wasn't for the robbery. That was the second leg semi-final against Chelsea, where Chelsea were denied 2-3 penalties, and even Didier Drogba said to the camera at the end of the game, "It's a disgrace." Or what about his famous fairy tale ending at the 2022 World Cup, where he finally won the trophy that eluded him his entire career, except for the fact that he won it by being awarded 5 penalties, which is the highest number of penalties awarded at a single World Cup tournament. Or even about the multiple rigged and undeserved Ballon d'Ors that he won, being the 2021 and 2023 Ballon d'Ors that many argue should have gone to Lewandowski and Erling Haaland respectively. So all in all, due to being a system player and benefiting from corruption, Lionel Messi cannot be the GOAT. Pele, weak era. Most people from the older generation would say that Pele is the greatest of all time, and with him having over 1,000 goals and winning 3 World Cup titles, it's not hard to see why. Until you actually dig deeper and realize that 1,000 goals he scored were mostly scored in unofficial matches and other games that FIFA just didn't recognize. His official career goals scored are 757, being the 5th highest goal scorer in history, right behind Romario, Joseph Baikan, Leo Messi, and of course, none other than Cristiano Ronaldo. And still, 757 goals might sound impressive, but you have to factor in the fact that Pele dominated in a time where football was relatively in its late infancy and its overall competition was low compared to today. And you can see this by the fact that damn near most of his highlights are in black and white. This was a time where, as compared to today, didn't have modern tactics, proper nutrition, and athletic conditioning. Defenders were also way slower, seeing as how Punish managed to score all those goals. Pele had it easy. And as for those 3 World Cup titles I mentioned earlier, again, was a product of a very weak era. For Pele's first World Cup win, CONMEBOL's qualifiers were in the standard table system we see today, Rather, teams were divided into 3 groups of 3 teams each and played home and away fixtures, but due to Venezuela's withdrawal in a group with Brazil and Peru, Brazil only had to play Peru, resulting in just 2 games that led to a win and a draw, leading to Brazil qualifying for the World Cup. Now, compare that to how Messi's Argentina qualifying system, where they play 18 games in a table of 10 teams, or how Maradona had to play 6 games in a group of 6 teams home and away, and whoever tops the table automatically qualified back in 1986, and whichever years Messi qualified for all his World Cup appearances. And as for his second World Cup title back in 62, they actually didn't play qualifiers because Brazil had already qualified due to an old rule that the champions automatically qualify for the following year's World Cup tournament. And as for his third World Cup win, he did play 6 games in the 1970 qualifiers. Now, you can't control which era you played in, and that's not Pele's fault. But unfortunately, due to his weak era, he cannot be the GOAT. Diego Maradona. Drugs. Maradona cannot be the GOAT because he took illegal substances and also had a huge drinking problem. His substance abuse problem started during his time at Barcelona at nightclubs, and as he said, by snorting a single line, it made him feel like Superman, and went on to say that in Naples, it was incredibly easy to get drugs, so he eventually started to consume more. And in 1991, Maradona called one of his contacts called the Camorra, a very dangerous, notorious Italian gang, asking for some, well, let's just say powder, and some women. Little did he know that the phone he had just used was tapped by the Italian authorities and would be used to press charges on him for drug possession, and 4 months later, a drug test would reveal traces of cocaine, resulting in a 15-month match ban from him playing football. You could honestly never see R9, Pele, Messi, or even Cristiano Ronaldo ever do such a thing, and for that reason, Maradona cannot be the GOAT. Ronaldo Nazario, unfortunate. Ronaldo, or to be more specific, Ronaldo Nazario or Ronaldo phenomenon, as is usually called to differentiate him from CR7, was good for a 9-year stretch. To be specific, some argue that his true prime was between 1994 to 2003. And that's a relatively small number compared to Messi and the real Ronaldo, whose primes were well over 12 years. And the biggest reason why his prime was cut so short was injuries. That took away most of his explosiveness. Years of his explosive, fast dribbles and speed caught up to him, and he got numerous knee injuries that hugely affected his career and also chances to win the UCL, as he has won a total of 0 Champions League titles throughout his whole career. While Ray Parler had this to say about him, and I quote, "The original Ronaldo remains one of the most clinical forwards I ever saw. Big, strong, aggressive, but he was more than just a powerhouse. He'll go down as one of the best goal scorers of all time. But all in all, due to unfortunate injuries, he cannot be the greatest player of all time, if he wasn't even the greatest Ronaldo of all time. Ronaldo Nazario cannot be the GOAT."